Today's story is about one of the most dangerous criminals in Egypt, the infamous Giza serial killer, a man named Farag Abdel Adi, known as El Gaddafi. On the surface, he appeared polite, calm, and respectful, just an ordinary guy from a modest family, a law graduate who worked regular jobs before marrying a woman named Fatma. But behind that quiet face, something much darker was hidden. In 2014, Farag decided to enter the real estate brokerage business. It was profitable, and money started coming in fast. He quit his old job and devoted himself completely to real estate. During that time, he convinced a close friend of his, engineer Rita, who was living abroad, that real estate in Egypt was a golden investment. Rita trusted him and sent him money monthly until the total exceeded 3 million Egyptian pounds. Farag even bought several apartments and an office under Rita's name using the general power of attorney Rita had given him. Around this time, a girl named Nadine started working at Farag's office. A relationship developed between them, and he promised to marry her. But when he went to propose, he shocked everyone. He proposed not to Nadine, but to her sister, also named Fatma. Nadine was devastated, and her sister Fatma didn't know that Farag was already married to another woman with the same name. After the marriage, Farag started mistreating Nadine. When she threatened to expose him and reveal everything he had done, he panicked and came up with a sinister plan. He told Nadine that he had connections with a big TV producer and that she had a chance to act in a series that would be filmed abroad for 3 years. Her family refused at first, but the producer, who was working with Farag, went to their home and convinced them. On the day she was supposed to travel, a whole team arrived at her house to pick her up, claiming they were all traveling together for the filming. After leaving home, Nadine kept contacting her family for nearly 2 years. But only through text messages, never phone calls. Then suddenly, the messages stopped completely. The truth was that Farag had killed her and buried her in one of the apartments that belonged to engineer Rita. Not long after, Rita began doubting Farag's stories and decided to return to Egypt to check the properties that were supposedly bought with his money. Farag picked him up from the airport and took him to one of the apartments. Rita had brought food for both of them. After eating, he suddenly experienced severe stomach pain. When he tried to call Farag for help, he turned around and saw him holding a metal bar. Farag struck him repeatedly on the head until he died, then buried him in the same apartment where Nadine was buried. He later sent a message from Rita's phone to his family, claiming he had been arrested during a protest and didn't know where he was, making his disappearance seem unrelated to Farag. By now, Farag had begun to see murder as the easiest solution to any problem. His first wife, Fatma, discovered he had multiple identities and threatened to report him. He killed her in their home, cut her body into pieces, cleaned the place, stored her remains in a freezer, moved the freezer outside the house, and eventually buried her in the same apartment where Nadine and Rita were buried. To her family, he claimed she had stolen money and run away, and he even sent them a message from her phone. But they discovered the message had been sent from Farag's home. They reported him, but due to the lack of evidence, he was released. Farag decided to leave the city and move to Alexandria. He sold all of Rita's properties using the power of attorney and began living under Rita's identity. He opened an electronics store and met a young woman named Yasmin. He convinced her he loved her and persuaded her to invest her savings with him. When she later demanded her money back, he told her she could take electrical appliances from the warehouse. When she went there, he murdered her and buried her inside the warehouse. Later, he met a pharmacist named Noha. He got close to her and eventually married her, still using Rita's identity. After some time, she asked for a divorce, and he agreed. But to take revenge, he robbed her family's home while disguised in a niqab. Her family suspected that her ex-husband might be involved, but by then Farag had already changed his name again and disappeared. He later met a woman named Mona. To her family, he seemed religious, respectable, and well-mannered. But he repeated the same crime. He robbed their home in the exact same way he had done before. After that, he continued selling stolen gold pieces one by one. When he felt confident that there were no reports linked to the items, he took a large bag of gold to sell. But one shop owner recognized the pieces because the police had circulated their descriptions. The owner stalled him until the police arrived and arrested him, still using Rita's identity. When the police contacted Rita's family to tell them their son had been arrested for theft, they were shocked. They told the officers that the man in custody was not their son, he was the person who had stolen all the apartments and disappeared years earlier. Once his real name was identified, more reports surfaced, including the report of his missing wife and several complaints involving fraud, murder, and multiple false identities. Under pressure during the investigation, Farag confessed to all his crimes and revealed the locations where he had buried the bodies. He received 4 death sentences, and although the execution order was issued, it has not been carried out yet. His story was later turned into a TV series titled The Giza Serial Killer. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.